I was on a walk on Sunday and I was walking through the neighborhood and I like came across this beautiful park and kind of this cool little neighborhood with great architecture and these cool cars and everything was kind of parked outside and I looked up and there was just this big window that had this beautiful quote written inside of it. And I posted it early in the week, but it was from Albert Einstein. It said, "Education is not just the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think." And I thought, what a wonderful quote for the things that we're basically that we do, but also that we're embarking on with this new community that we're building and launching August 2nd that we haven't talked about yet. And this conference that we're producing and building and launching in October. And I thought it was so important, but that it's not just about the facts, but it's actually training the mind to think, the ability, the muscle. And, this year has been a year of many firsts. And even tennis, like me and you hit the tennis ball around in Mexico, but I actually went in and learned the functional form of tennis. And I was like, oh, wow, I'm really doing everything wrong. And then I just hit this moment where I'm like, these little kids are literally over here in day camp and they're smacking this ball and they're laughing and they're rolling around and they're doing, and I'm struggling. And I just thought to myself, I'm like, okay, no, it's the process of learning how to play tennis that's the most important thing here. You can never forget how to learn things. And that not just the form is so important, but like my ability to adapt to this new situation is so important. So figure it out. I just told myself, you look stupid. You look stupid. You're naked. You're naked and stupid. And that's fine. And then you're going to figure it out. And then by the end of it, we're rallying the entire time. And I'm just watching these little kids learn, looking at these pros play, and then looking at the coach who's teaching me and just hitting back and forth with them going, okay, do everything in your willpower to learn as quickly as you can and adapt to the situation. And I think it's so important for us to never lose that.
Yeah, I love that. When I learned how to play tennis from a tennis pro years ago, he'd always say to me, trust the technique, trust the technique. And because I was a pretty good tennis player playing badly, I did
Right.
everything wrong. And he would tell me, look, you're spending 10 times the effort to get 1/10 the outcome. If
Mm.
you'll trust the process and trust the technique and let me change your form, you'll spend 1/10 the effort and get 10 times the outcome.
Wow.
And I think that's true in life. It's like there are so many people who are successful. They're just working themselves into the ground because they're working 10 times harder to get 1/10 the outcome. And lucky people, back to the theme, people who are lucky, they spend 1/10 of the effort to get 10 times the outcome. And it's because, in a sense, they're trusting the form. They're not trying to use brute force to make life happen. There's an elegance to the way you can live your life. And when you find your flow, and you find like that center where you're supposed to live, it feels like you're cheating rather than working.
How much of your luck do you think relies on what you've learned?
Oh, I don't know, percentage, maybe 90%.
You're someone who never stops learning.
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like all my future luck is in the 10% that I haven't learned.
Mm.
Keeping my mind open, keeping myself curious, keep myself learning.
Hmm.
And, in fact, yesterday we were all at this dinner after the board meeting, and I'm older than everyone else on this board. And they're like, man, you got to keep going because you have so much to give. And my immediate thought was, I got to keep going because I have so much to learn. and and I don't feel that I've hit that spot where, learning is no longer necessary. I've
Yeah.
hit that spot in my life where I feel like, oh my gosh, I need to accelerate my learning at a level I've never been at before. I can't even afford to learn the way I used to. I have to learn faster. I need to learn clear. I need to learn, more powerfully now than I've ever had to.
Yeah, it's so good. I mean, the data shows, and so many different scientists talk about this, and podcasters talk about the neurological brain waves, uh, the neural brain waves that stay open and pliable when you continue to stay outside of your comfort zone. When you learn new route, when you take a new route home, when you walk a new way, when you try something different, when you stay uncomfortable, your brain stays pliable. And I think even for me, I the first thing I said when I landed in London was like, I got to find my routine. And of course, there's no routine because you're carving a routine out of nothing, right? And I'm
Yes,
like,
but what
okay,
was the last thing you said to me before you left LA? Because I was going, you need to do this. You need to go to London. You need to. You don't worry about having an agenda. Don't worry about having a schedule. Don't worry about knowing people. And what did you say?
are you talking about hunting lions?
Yes, you said I need to go hunt lions.
I said, I need to go hunt lions. I need to go explore the world. I need to go and have adventure.
Yeah, and you were
And
quoting 1923. Thank you, Taylor
uh,
Sheridan, and for
yeah, I
that
mean, I
beautiful
would think
imagery.
that's the cheesy,
Yeah.
romantic, poetic side of me. But really, it was this thought of like, I'm too young to be this locked into a routine. And if I don't go and make this world smaller, if I don't go and find new people and build new relationships and connect with the world, that I'm living beneath my potential and living beneath, I think, what is expected of me or what I expect of myself. And it's easy for me to be very comfortable in LA. I live a few minutes away from you. We walk to get coffee all the time. I have my workouts. I have my friends that I run with. I have, the guys I work with. Me and Austin spend so much time together every day. Like I have the things that I do. I have my friends and my family and my life and my places. And then to be here, the slate is clean. Although I did go to a workout class this morning or yesterday, and they started playing a worship song at the end. And I
Oh,
I like my head kind of like it was at the end. We were stretching, the lights were low. It was very lovely. And I was like, "Do you like this song?" And the teacher goes, "I love this song. Do you like this song?" And I was like, "I'll show you a better song." And I played Mariah's song, "This Is How I Thank the Lord." And it was just one of those funny moments where, I asked them, I was like, "Where do you go when you're in LA? Do you go to a church?" And they were like, "Oh, we go here." And I was like, "No, no, you go to Mosaic now." And then I came back today and they're like, "Oh, do you know this person? Do you know this person? They used to go to Mosaic and they used to go to Mosaic and they married my best friend." And I was like, "Oh, it's crazy how the world is so small." And it's something beautiful. It gave me anxiety. I was like, "Get me out of here. I'm a little, I want a fresh start." But at the same time, it was just really comforting to go, it's beautiful that the things you build can go across the world. And I don't know what hunting lions means, but I just got to do it. And I just got to
yeah,
figure it out, you know? And
yeah. I just, you know, all I can tell you is that like my life is a continuous flow of serendipity, and just meeting extraordinary people, having beautiful experiences, and it doesn't mean there hasn't been pain. I mean, I was processing with this doctor in Costa Rica this morning because I'm heading down there, and she looked like she was 12 years old, and I thought, wow, I'm putting my life in the hands of a child. And but she assured me she was older than she looked, and I'm like, that has to be true. And, or Costa Rica is going to have malpractice issues for putting a 12-year-old, in a surgical room. But and she goes, okay, have you ever broken anything? And I'm like, well,
yeah,
let's just
everything.
start from the head and work my way down. Well,
Let's
have you
start
ever
with what I
had
haven't broken.
yeah. And she goes, okay, well, we're trying to focus on, where there might be injuries. I go, torn both rotator cuffs, destroyed both knees, tore my Achilles tendons, broke my jaw, cracked my skull, I
Every
forgot to tell her I
finger.
broke my neck, everything. So I could see my life as a life of misery, a life of tragedy, a life of tragic events. I mean, I broke my neck when I was 19 years old, hit head on by a car. And in the story I tell is a story of crawling out of that hospital. It's not the story of breaking my neck and getting hit by the car. And it really is how you understand your story. My life
Mm,
could be a life of bad luck or a life of good luck. It could be bad luck because I never knew my father. It could be good luck because Bill McManus, became like my surrogate dad. It could be bad luck because he was involved in and a very, very shady world and disappeared, or it could be good luck because someone else came to my life. Like, you can look at your life and you have to decide which side of quote luck is your story.